energy and enthusiasm. And we are fortunate to have with us today and to give his association. So thank you, Prabhu, for your association. And yeah, we have people joining as we progress. We have in the temple several devotees, but you won't see any of them because the computer is in one corner. And the people will be joining from their homes as well as from other temples gradually. I think we can get started.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Picharine Nirvide Shunyavadi Paschatya Destarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pandulangaye degirim yatkripatamande Shri Guru Dinadari. Hare Krishna. Happy New Year to Happy Krishna Conscious New Year to all of you there. So, I was just reading this Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, verse 3, which all of you will be familiar. Utsaha, Nichaya, Dairya, Tat Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyaga Tato Vritte, Shadbir Bhakti Prasiddhati. So Rupa Goswami here, he says 6 things which are favorable for us to advance in devotional service. It is mentioned these 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. So, Prabhupada writes in one of the Bhagavad Gita purports that bhakti or devotional service may appear to be a very difficult job. But if we follow the principles, the rules and regulations given by our Acharya, given by Srila Prabhupada, then it becomes very easy actually. So, Utsaha, Prabhupada translates as enthusiasm. So, this enthusiasm is very important in spiritual life. In fact, most of you are sitting in the Bay Area. The same enthusiasm you can see for the people, karmis, or the materialists who are working in their offices. Like when I used to come there, I used to see people get up early in the morning. They open the laptop at 5 o'clock in the morning during our Brahma Murta time there. So, because they get some rasa, they have to work hard. Material world is designed in such a way. So when they work hard, they earn money, then they want to enjoy their senses. In that way, they are enthused actually. Whereas for devotees who are practicing devotional service, the same enthusiasm is required. I always keep telling this Srila Prabhupada's life, if you see anything, any challenges, any difficulty, any obstacles comes in our path while practicing devotional service, because we are all sadhaka, there will be some difficulties when we are practicing. But you just see Prabhupada's life, how so many obstacles were there. But he was continuing to preach, and that determination was very, very high. Prabhupada also says more than knowledge and understanding, determination is very, very important actually. We all know in that Bhagavad Gita purport also Prabhupada writes, the determination of a sparrow. So sparrow once lost his eggs in the ocean. So immediately the sparrow was upset. So sparrow threatened ocean, return my egg, otherwise I'll empty you. Ocean did not even bother, because the ocean is a huge mass, huge body of water. What the small bird, sparrow, can do. So it didn't respond, it didn't answer. So sparrow tried to empty the ocean with a small beak. It's a small bird, a small beak, trying to empty the ocean. And this news went to Garuda, the bird carrier of Lord Vishnu. So Garuda felt compassionate for his sister bird, Prabhupada, right? And he came to the scene and he returned the ocean to return the egg. Immediately, ocean returned the egg of sparrow. So this is called sparrow determination. So we should be very determined in spiritual life. How determination comes? When we see other devotees, when we see the life of Srila Prabhupada, how he didn't give up his task. Almost 35 years he was preaching the same message of Bhagavad Gita in India before setting to America. Apparently you can see, apparently you can call it a failure actually. Just like in the Bay Area, a lot of startup company comes. All over the world now, a lot of startup company comes. Not that all the company takes off. Most of them, it fails. But Prabhupada he never gave up the hope. He tried forming some league of devotees, that different way he tried. So it was the mission, it was Lord's plan that Srila Prabhupada goes to America, and we know how ISKCON was incorporated, and within 10 years, Prabhupada built 108 temples and all these things. So see, every determination, Prabhupada. So somebody may say, oh, Prabhupada was a pure devotee, Acharya, but where are we? No, we should try to follow the footstep of devotees. Many practicing devotees are there, Prabhupada disciples are there who are practicing now more than 5 decades plus. So we can get a lot of inspiration from these devotees. And particularly in the West, in America, most of you are there. So a lot of challenges, people don't take easily. And because a lot of sense gratification activities are going on there. And particularly Indians who go there, they've gone on a mission, they want to make some money and so many things. But still we have to try. So Krishna and Prabhupada will be pleased when they see we are trying to preach Krishna consciousness. Because ultimately the result is not in our hand. We should try to do our best and we should leave it to Guru and Krishna. So when we see devotees, how this enthusiasm we can develop is very simple actually. Everything is given by Srila Prabhupada for us. So a blueprint Prabhupada has given. We have to just follow it actually. So just like following these 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds for those who are initiated, it's a mandatory actually, correct? And we have to follow few festival celebration, fasting, and all these things. So this calls for little determination, actually. Prabhupada also says, like fasting on the appearance day of Lord or Acharya. Fasting, actually, every day we take maybe breakfast at so time in the morning. So that day also our body will be craving for that. But we say, no, today I'll fast till noon or till evening or whatever it is, if our body permits. So that is the determination, because our body may need that at that point of time. So we have to take that little tapasya. Tapasya means voluntarily accepting some inconvenience for my spiritual advancement. That's why these acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, they are given a simple tapasya actually. Because in Kali Yuga, we can't take a hard tapasya like we hear from the scriptures, how in the previous age, all the sages or tapasvis, they used to take a lot of hardship. So for us, tapasya is, we should chant 16 rounds nicely, clearly, distinctly, and hear the same sound. Like we have been hearing Madhu Pandit Prabhu's soulful japa presentation, chanting also, many of you are also following that. So that is the tapasya for us. Particularly in Kali Yuga, taking out 2 hours of our everyday routine is not an ordinary thing. And that also Prabhupada has given us concession. He has given only 16 rounds. Like many of you may be familiar with this. His spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Gaudiya Math, he introduced 64 rounds. You just imagine if we have to chant for 8 hours a day in today's world. Actually, it's next to impossible. Correct? So Prabhupada, being an acharya, according to time, place, and circumstances, keeping the principles intact, he has given us concession. There is one conversation. So Prabhupada first said 64 round. Then devotee said, Prabhupada 64 round, very difficult. Okay, 32 round. Prabhupada, devotees again said, no, Prabhupada, 32 is very difficult. Then Prabhupada said 16 rounds. For that also disciples, they said, some of the devotees said, no, Prabhupada is very tough, very tough. Prabhupada said, nothing doing. If you want to be my disciple, you should chant minimum 16 rounds. That's why that's the oath, vow we take during initiation. Chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, and engage in the service, engage in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So when we see some devotees who are enthused, who are seniors, who are following, who are so determined, actually it's like a addiction. Just like we all have gone through colleges, we know when we are associate with the good students in the classroom, we also come out we score good marks, come out in a flying colors, correct? And there are students always at the back bench also. They may pass out, but they may not score that much. So so for everything, man is known by a company. Prabhupada also says this. So see, this utsaha, enthusiasm is very important. And for that, we have to be determined, actually. Prabhupada gives the example of also Mahatma Gandhiji. In India, we know Mahatma Gandhiji is the father of the nation. And he took a mission to drive away the Britishers before independence. And Britishers were so powerful, actually. Prabhupada says in few places, actually. Very powerful they were. And here one person, Gandhiji, he took that mission, and many of the others also followed, like Subhash Chandra Bose and others. And eventually, they drove Britishers. In the year 1947, India became independent. So Prabhupada also found, because Gandhiji was very determined. He was taking a lot of austerities. He used to go out. He was put inside the prison. He was not bothered because the mission was one: how to drive away the Britishers. Like many of you may also recall this. If Srila Prabhupada was drawn by this Gandhi's movement in his early days. Correct? But when he met his spiritual master, later he became his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then he was very clear, actually. So, like that, this determination is very, very important in spiritual life. So that's why Prabhupada says more than knowledge and understanding, determination is very important. So determination automatically comes by following the rules and regulation which Srila Prabhupada has introduced. Say our sadhana. So everybody will be in a different situation there. No problem. Whatever commitment you have taken, we should try to follow that. That is good for us, by which we will progress little by little in spiritual life. So first it says in this letter of instruction, this the verse there is utsaha, enthusiasm. Second is nishchaya, confidence. So if we take to this process, we can be rest assured that we will be successful. Prabhupada says we will achieve perfection in this human form of life. Because human form of life is meant for understanding whom we are, who is God, what is our relationship, why we have come into this world. Is it chance, or is there's a purpose? There's a purpose, actually. But unfortunately, most of the people, they do not know what is the purpose. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says, Nathe viduhu swartha gatim Vishnu. People do not know their own self-interest. Nathe viduhu. Vidu means to know. Swa artha, our own interest. It is for our own self, for ourself, that we take to this process of devotional service. So we should be confident, because this was Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. This was scripture says that you do few things like this and you will get the result. Manmana bhav madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru. Very simple instruction, actually, in the Bhagavad Gita Krishna gives in the 9th chapter and 18th chapter. So 4 things, actually. And we all be doing this. Always think of Krishna. So when we chant Hare Krishna, automatically we think of Krishna. Eventually we'll come to that stage. We are trying to become a devotee. Manmana bhav mad bhakto. Trying to become Krishna's devotee. Madhyaji, we are worshipping the deities, beautiful deities in all the temples there. And many of you will have deities at home also. Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskar, and pay obeisance unto me. Just by doing these 4 things, Krishna is assuring that we'll go back to him. We go back to spiritual world. Krishna is promising that you will come back to me. See? So simple actually. But somehow, when we are practicing devotional service also, now and then some obstacle will come, difficulties will come, because the material world is designed in such a way. Prabhupada even says, see, if Krishna wants, he can, just like he demanded, correct, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. So Krishna can make us all surrender like that. But Krishna don't want that. He wants us to go to him lovingly. So that's why Yome Bhaktya Praichati, he says. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Thoyam. See, simple instruction, all this in the 9th chapter. You offer me leaf, Patram, Pushpam, some flowers, Thoyam, bas. But the very important thing is Krishna is emphasizing that is Yome Bhaktya Praichati. If you offer with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water, I will accept it. So simple, correct? So we should have confidence. We should, this is what scripture says. And this Rupa Goswami is actually nectar of instruction is for a sadhaka like us. Utsaha, Nichaya, and Dairya. Dairya is also very important. Is patience. Patience also is very important in spiritual life. Because we know these many instructions Prabhupada has given. We hear, we read. But when you are practicing, there may be a little fall. We may not be able to do to the best. No problem. But we should have patience. Because we should understand, we have taken millions and millions of birth. And all these material desires and all are sitting within us. Now and then it will come up. So, but we should have patience, following the process. Whatever it is, like particularly if it's a mandatory, Prabhupada says, particularly for devotees who are trying to dedicate their life, who are serving as a missionary in the temple, it's mandatory. We don't have any other option actually. We have to stand up for Mangala Arati. We have to go through the morning program, club, Darshanarti, Bhagavatam class. Prabhupada uses the word, correct? You would have come across Suyantritaha. Like a machine, we have to be there. And he gives the example of a wristwatch, clock. Thak, thak, thak. Time just moves on, correct? Here in India, it is 8:40 now. So in few minutes, few seconds, it becomes 8:41 p.m. here. So the clock, thak, thak, every second that it keeps moving. So, Suyantrita. So in that context, he says, we should not give, oh no, today because this was there, that's why I didn't come for Mangalarti. This was the issue, I didn't attend Darshanarti, like that. Just like a clock, good clock, works very meticulously. So we are all trying to be a devotee of Lord. We should also work meticulously actually. Just like you take any discipline, like somebody is in army or in navy or air force or in police department, everybody has to go through the rigorous training. Everybody. We knew one devotee who is still serving us. So before joining, he just joined a police department. So he used to say, 4 o'clock they have to be ready for the drill or whatever it is. Physical training and drills and all these things. You take any sportsman, a lot of tapasya they do. Otherwise, they can't be representing the country and winning laurels and awards and all. No. Like PV Sindhu, badminton, correct? She goes to the training academy at 4 o'clock in the morning. Just like we get up in the morning from our Brahma Utsava, during Brahma Utsava, it is congenial for spiritual practice. So all these sportsmen and different personalities, they all get up actually. They're also doing tapasya. But their tapasya is not properly directed. Or if they want to achieve anything in material world, that austerity we have to take, otherwise it's not possible. So patience is also required, because when we start practicing, sometimes we see, oh, still all my bad habits are not going, my anarthas are not going. It will go actually. We should have patience. We have got into the train, we have got into the flight, and it will reach the destination. Maybe some delay here and there. It happens sometime in India, all the train gets late and all, correct? But we should have faith. We should not get down from the train in some station, come, you just get down and walk. No, it will not, anyway, you will not reach the destination. So patience is also important thing. The third thing is saying, Prabhupada gave the very striking example of patience. Like when a girl gets married, it's a natural this thing, correct? She wants to have a child. But it's not that Prabhupada says you married today and tomorrow you get a child. It's not like that. You have to serve the husband with love and develop relationship. And naturally, you will get a child, Prabhupada says, for a period of time. There's a normal process. So that patience is required actually. And Prabhupada says, if somebody takes to Krishna consciousness, definitely you'll achieve perfection actually. Definitely, Prabhupada says. Because Krishna is, Prabhupada says, perfection is guaranteed. So it is up to us how seriously, sincerely we are trying. We should try actually. No problem. Sometimes there will may fall, we may be slack in whatever we are doing. But we should push. We should push, keep on pushing. That's why in the temple and all, we have something, Prabhupada introduced all these things, correct? Apart from the management thing, there's somebody known as temple commander. So he has to do this duty. Like in the college, we'll have a class monitor or whatever, class representative. Everywhere it is applicable actually. So this dhairya, patience is also important. And fourth one, it is said, tat karma pravartanat. That is, various activity favorable for devotional service. Pravartanat, by performing. So devotional service is an activity. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Bhakti uttama bhakti. So, sarvo upadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena. We have to engage all our senses in the service of the master of the senses. That is devotional service. That is bhakti. Bhakti means, devotional service means activity. Activity means we should work. We should work hard. There are many quotes. Prabhupada says, work hard for Krishna. Actually, it's a gamble, correct? We are taking, somehow we are come in touch with this Prabhupada's movement, and we are all fortunate. So many life we did, lot of tamashas. Now this one life, we should gamble for Krishna. It's not a blind gamble. It's actually based on the direction of the scriptures. So that way, actually, we will be benefited. And we should render devotional service favorably. Anukulena and Pratikulena. Prabhupada speaks on many places. Favorably, favorably we should serve Krishna. Prabhupada always gave the example of Kamsa. Kamsa was also Krishna conscious. We can say 24 hours he was thinking of Krishna because he heard this voice that eighth child of Devaki and Vasudeva is going to kill him. So he was also Krishna conscious. And we know how he atrociously crushed to death the first 6 baby. And he was Krishna conscious because he got the word from the sky that he'll be killed by the 8th son. But it is actually unfavorable Krishna consciousness, Pratikulena. But Krishna is so kind. Krishna is so compassionate. Krishna even gave liberation to Kamsa. Krishna accepted Putana as his mother in the spiritual world because Krishna sucked the nipple and he drank milk from Putana's belly when he was just 3 months old baby. So Bhagavatam explains, so how kind, how compassionate Krishna is. Because that is God. He is all good. He is very kind. He is compassionate to everybody, not only few devotees, everybody is. So, this is the 4th thing. 5th thing is Sangatyagat, that Prabhupada translate, abandoning the association of non-devotees. So this is also very important. As a Krishna conscious preacher, we have to go and meet different types of people, sometimes atheistic class of people also we meet. But we should be little careful, particularly in the early days. So we should always take the guidance of the other older devotees, senior devotees there, to take their help, to take their assistance. Because our intention may be good, we want to go and give Krishna conscious. We can try, but we should be smart enough to draw the line so that we don't, instead of giving association to them, sometimes it happens actually here also, devotee get contaminated by their association actually. Correct? In Krishna consciousness, we want to give this Krishna consciousness to others. But there are so many simple and willing soul. They are ready to accept this. Only thing we have to touch upon them. That's all. So instead of going to a person who is very argumentative, a lot of questions, just people want to, we come across different type of people, correct? So we should be little careful. And whenever we are in doubt, the check and balances, we should check with our other devotees. Everybody is going through the same process actually. So this was the 5th one. And Sato Vritte, Prabhupada translates as following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. So Srila Prabhupada has given us a very, very simple process based on the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the 6 Goswamis, particularly Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. They have written a lot of literature on bhakti on the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Prabhupada is serving this to us in a very simple format. So if we just follow these instructions, actually slowly we can see we also keep on maybe like Prabhu was introducing a few decades like that. So everybody will cross. I always mention this also. When myself, Amitasana joined before me, 40 days before. So we used to wonder how Chanchalapati Prabhu, Madhupandit Prabhu, they spent 8 years, 10 years in movement like that and all we used to discuss. Today, you see, it goes on and on actually. So it's very easy. I still remember when I first came, when I first came to Bay Area in the year 2008. There are no congregation, nothing actually. Only Nanda Kishore was there and Mataji was there. That's all. And somehow it was a cold call. I just called him. I had his number, and like that, and we started going to temple slowly. All these things, how Lord manifests. You see, of course, they were all practicing nicely. They were, I think, they got initiated also before moving from India. They are also practicing for more than 20 years. Vikram Prabhu is there, your leader there. Vikram Prabhu was so fired up actually. So much service he has done. Now also he's doing so much service. You see, 2, 3 decades easily it goes actually. Maybe starting little trouble may be there, particularly when you're working there. For a grahasthas who are outside the temple and all these things, yeah, their majority is like that, correct? It's little challenging. I always say for the temple full-time missionaries, spiritual life is little easy only. Everything is ready for us. But whereas you have to take care of your work, you have to take care of a family, children, and so many things actually. It's a big challenge actually. If somebody does that, it's very nice actually. You'll be blessed by Srila Prabhupada and you'll be blessed by Krishna actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna. So these are the few things I just wanted to touch upon. And anybody has anything to say, any comment, any question you want to ask?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavas, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Who is it?
So one question is, one devotee asked,
Yes, Prabhu.
when you engage in sense gratification,
Mm-hmm.
there is instant gratifying pleasure.
Correct.
But when you take to Krishna consciousness and go through these processes, sadhana
Mm-hmm.
and strict discipline,
Correct.
mangalarti, fasting, so it's not instant pleasure. You need to be patient and cross that anartha upashamam stage to
Mm-hmm.
feel the bliss.
Correct.
So, what can the devotee follow during this process to keep himself enthused and continue with steadfastness?
Yeah. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says very clear, correct? Sense gratification is something like a, um, it is a, what is that? Nectar in the beginning. But at the end, what happens? It is a poison. It entangles you. It binds you to the material world. So many things Prabhupada says about sense gratification. Correct? Because the whole thing is, in Krishna consciousness, we understand that we are not this body, we are not the senses, we are not this mind, we are not all these are material things. And contrary to that, also Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, but spiritual life, if you take, it's something like a poison in the beginning thing. It's a tough in the beginning thing. But at the end, you're going to get nectar. So we have to choose now. Choice is ours only. That free will is there. Krishna has given this freedom to all of us. See, that's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita, correct? We all know. Prabhupada, many places he explains. He explains all these chapters telling Arjuna about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all these things. The 18th chapter is asking Arjuna, now Arjuna, tell me, what is your decision? So in other words, actually Lord, as I mentioned also, Lord is not forcing us upon us like that. He has given the instruction. The Arjuna is not an ordinary soul, we all know. So immediately he says, Nashtam moha smriti labda karishye vachanam tava. I will follow your instruction. I'll follow your instruction. Kamesha krodesha rajo guna samudbhava mahasano mahapapma vidhi yenam ivairina. See, like that, Krishna very clearly says in Bhagavad Gita directly, it's only because of lust, Arjuna. So, Yeah, somebody may ask, okay, I don't know, maybe after so many. No, Prabhupada says, if somebody seriously takes, and Bhagavatam very clearly says, correct, there are two paths always. One is leading to liberation, one is to bondage. I think Rishabdev's instruction is there. So, when you take the path of sense gratification, it binds you more and more in this material world. But Krishna is certifying in the Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, this is Dukhalem Ashashvatam. It is full of misery and it is temporary. And many places he says, please come back to my abode. Punar Janmana Vidyate, you will not take birth again in this material world. So, yeah, this apparently that's why in the whole world, Prabhupada say, why majority of people, even so-called spiritual organization in Kali Yuga, unfortunately, they miss out the important point. They say everything is okay, but we can have some time. No, where is the time? Prabhupada says 24 hours we have to be engaged. I was just reading one conversation. Prabhupada says, I was engaged 24 hours a day. Like that. A conditioned soul like us, we can't engage that much. So at least in a regulated way, we do our Vaidhi Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti. That's why we have to follow these acharyas. Because we are not able to perceive what is happening to us really, because we are not still coming out of the bodily concept. So sense gratification is for gratifying our senses. But Krishna, that definition is Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. We have to engage our senses in the master of the senses, that is Rishikesha, that is Krishna, Vishnu. Otherwise, we'll get entangled more and more. We can even become Brahma. But what is the use? Abrahma Bhona Aloka Punaravartino Arjuna. Again, you fall down. That's why Devatas, it is mentioned correct in the scriptures, these Devatas, they have a long lifespan and their enjoyment is so much. What we are seeing is nothing actually. In the scriptures, all these things are mentioned. But Devatas are always looking when they will take birth in this material world here. Because there also, they get more of entanglement there. Okay, their enjoyment is there, long, it looks like they are also eternal, live for long, 10,000s of years. But compared to eternity is nothing. So, we should try to understand these things from the scriptures. It looks like that, sense gratification immediately. But the whole thing is, that's why Krishna says in the 7th chapter, correct? Bhumi, apo, analo, na, vayo, kam, manor, buddhi, evacha. Ahankara, iti, me, binna, me, prakriti, ashtra. These are my separated energy. And apart from the aparayam iti styanam prakriti vidime param jiva bhutamaha. So we are the jiva, we are the soul. And soul, we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. So the real liberation, Bhagavatam also says, what is that second canto verse? Liberation, what is the definition according to Bhagavatam? Swarup Siddhi, what is Swarup Siddhi? Jivere Swarupo Nitya Krishna, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, and in the Bhagavatam, that second chapter, there is a verse, it's very clearly says, Swarup, we should be in our constitutional position. That is, the sense gratification is not our constitutional position, because we have to gratify Krishna's senses. Prabhupada in one place says, sense gratification is not bad in one sense, but we should try to gratify the sense of Krishna, who is the master. We are the servant. We are part and parcel. Finger is supposed to serve my body, my hand, my body. So if the finger is separated, it loses its significance. If a finger is cut and thrown, it has no value. Prabhupada gives this example, correct? A small screw may be there in the machine, in the big, maybe in a laptop, something, a small part may be there. It just jumps out of the laptop. It can't function. That value is nothing. But still, it is connected with the laptop. That screw or the whatever the part is there is important. Similarly, Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all Amsha of Krishna. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. Our duty is to serve Krishna. If we try to serve our senses, ourself, our extended family and all, actually it's not going to liberate us. It is going to bind us actually. So this is what we understand little from the scriptures. And there will be many verses. So by practice, that's what, see, just like that's what when we say, when we have to serve Krishna, why always I have to be servant? I want to be the master. That is our actually disease. That is our conditioned life. That's why we are all here. At some point of time in the spiritual world, this thought has come to us. Why always only Krishna, Krishna? You are telling always, people tell us in Krishna, you are always telling Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. What is there for me? So when this thought comes, because that free will is there, Krishna is respecting our free will. And when this thought comes in the spiritual world, Lord has put us in this material world. And he say, okay, you try, my dear. You go burn your finger. Again, you will come back to me. So that's the beauty actually. So, and when we serve Krishna, when we serve the senses of Krishna, it's not that we are not getting enjoyment. The simple proof is actually people who are practicing for the last 50 years or so in our ISKCON movements. How we are getting something in return, no? Definitely, otherwise we can't go on. The proof of the pudding is eating only. We can tell so many things. Prabhupada gives this example also, correct? We can take a nice rasagulla. We heard about rasagulla. And it is very sweet, juicy, and all these things. But unless you take a piece of rasagulla and put it in your mouth, you will not feel that pleasure. Now what we are doing, we are happy with the paper rasagulla actually. There is no pleasure. It's all in our mind. So it's that's why Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kachidetati Siddhe. Out of many, many thousands and thousands of people, hardly few will try to understand Manushyanam Kashit Etas to become, they will become perfect. They will become perfected. Out of those perfected soul, hardly one will know me in truth. So all these things are there in the Bhagavad Gita. It's not surprising because Krishna knows, and particularly in Kali Yuga, where everything, the sense gratification is given top priority all over the world. Actually, people, that's why they're lost. Particularly in ISKCON, you see, and you go to any other temple and all here also in India, all old people and all will be in the temple. Old ladies, mothers, fathers, grandmother, like that only. Recently, I went to a temple in Bombay, in Haubili Mutt. All old people, few numbers only, the two. But you see, whereas in ISKCON, you see, people are surprised with this also. All youngsters there. And when we are doing kirtan during festival time or the Sundays, people come and see, we are all jolly, we are all enjoying. Actually, spiritual life means to enjoy. Prabhupada asked, correct? So, Swamiji, in a nutshell, you tell about what is ISKCON all about. Prabhupada always said, correct? Chant, dance, and take prasadam. That's all. Feast. And they're all looking so bright, devotees and all. Because Krishna again says in the 9th chapter again, this is Susukum Kartum Avvayam. The devotional service is joyfully performed. It's not that somebody has to force us. Okay, initially we have to, because we are coming from a different conditioning, different background, different environment. That's why initially it will be like that. Alarm rings in ashram, in the temple also we have system of ringing bell and all before Mangalarti, half an hour before, like that and all. Later on you will wait when is the Mangalarti, I want to be go and stand there. So this taste will come actually. So that's why again Rupa Goswami says correct, Ado Shraddha. We should have first faith. Faith is very important in spiritual life. Like we put faith in all material things also. Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhusanga. Then you associate with devotees, associate with Srila Prabhupada's teaching, books, lectures, conversation. Sadhusanga, Ata Bhajana Kriya. Then you take to this process actually. They will take to this process. That's why we see slowly when people, new congregation start coming, they see for a few weeks or a month, then they also take to chanting Hare Krishna because somebody will be preaching to them also little. Ado Shraddha tata Sadhusanga tata Bhajanake tato anartha nivriti syat. Then this anartha will go. When anartha goes, then slowly we are progressing actually. So for the anartha to go, we have to do this first, the Prabhupada says, we have to do these first three process very systematically we should do. We should associate, we should practice devotional, we should do devotional service. This is the rasa. Right now we are in the condition stage, we are in the jaundice stage Prabhupada says, correct? If somebody is suffering from jaundice, you give him any sweet, it tastes bitter. So the only medicine is they take that sugarcane juice or sugar candy. It is bitter. But by taking, their yellow fever will go away. They will come to the normal situation. So we are all in the disease condition. We are all conditioned soul. We are conditioned by our hardware or software, whatever it is. It is all now with sense gratification only. So in Krishna consciousness, actually Prabhupada also quote this verse many places. Nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate. Yukta vairagya is anything related with Krishna, anything connected with Krishna, we accept. So nirbandha, Krishna sambandha, Krishna is there in the center. That is Krishna's gratification. If I am keeping myself at the center, it is actually my gratification. My sense gratification is going to bind me in this world. Whereas if you try to gratify, glorify Krishna, it will liberate me. Prabhupada says, it takes hardly a second, like that, and all Prabhupada's quotes are there. So some devotee asks, so Prabhupada, how long, how many lives? It is up to you. You can get liberated even in a moment's time. How? Just surrender fully to the Supreme Lord. That's it.
Thank you, Prabhu. We are now up for time, Prabhu, because we have the Darshanarti starting.
Correct.
Thank you so much for your association, Prabhu.
Enjoy. We'll meet again sometime and we can take question answer like that and all at your convenience.
Sure, Prabhu.
Thank you all. Have a nice 2025 Krishna conscious year in the association of devotees. Vikram Prabhu is there, Nanda Prabhu is there, Sukada is there. We all 2008, correct, Prabhu? I came there and which year you got initiated? Year?
2007, Prabhu.
No, 2008. I remember Pakka Bhaiya. That was my first trip to America. 2008 actually. And when you got initiated, Prabhu? Year? You took
No,
in
officially 2011, Prabhu, here.
no, that is okay. But here your examination and all, I happened to, you only told me, I only evaluated your paper. I was fortunate. Which year it was?
It was, I think, 2003 or 4, Prabhu.
Okay, good. 20 years you are there. No, good. Very nice, sir. Good job you are all doing. Please continue. It will be very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. And it is said we can't repay our debt to spiritual master. Only way we can repay our debt is to bring more people to this fold. That is the preaching this Krishna consciousness. Krishna also says in the 18th chapter, anyone who does this, we become very dear to Lord Krishna. See, everything is there in the Bhagavad Gita. So, though it is little tough, but now ground is nice there actually, fertile. So, please take on, and regularly we are praying for all of you, and we'll meet also in person sometime at your convenience. Thank you, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhu.
Thank you for inviting me.
Our pleasure, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you for
Krishna.
the association.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.